Blood and Silver, the Saga of Vikings and Muslims. Chapter 1. The Storm from the North. The first warning came at dawn. From the towers of Lisbon, the watchmen squinted at the horizon, where the sea met the pale pink sky. Then they saw them, dragon-headed ships, their sails dark as storm clouds, slicing through the waves like knives. "Allah protect us," whispered one guard, gripping his spear. "The Magis are here." The year was 844 AD, and the Vikings had come to Al-Andalus. For decades, the Norsemen had raided the Christian coasts of Francia and England, but now they ventured farther south, into the lands of the Umayyad Emirate. These were not mere pirates. This was a Wishanar, vast fleet. Hundreds of longships carrying warriors who worshipped Thor and Odin, men who fought like wolves and feared neither God nor Caliph. By midday, the Vikings had landed. They surged through the streets of Kasbalish, modern-day Lisbon, axes glinting, shields locked in a wall of painted wood and iron. The city's defenders, Berber soldiers and Arab horsemen, fought fiercely, but the Northmen were relentless. They burned mosques, looted markets, and dragged screaming captives back to their ships. News of the attack raced to Cordoba, where the young emir, Abd al-Rahman II, sat in his marble palace. His advisors urged caution, but the emir's blood burned with fury. "These pagans think our lands are soft prey," he declared. "We will show them the strength of Islam." Chapter 2. The Battle of Seville. The Vikings, drunk on victory, sailed up the Guadalquivir River toward Ishbilia. Seville. They broke through its defenses, slaughtering, pillaging, and defiling the great mosque. For 7 days the city was theirs. But Abd al-Rahman was ready. He sent his best general, Isa ibn Shuhaid, with an army of Andalusian cavalry, Berber archers, and Sudanese swordsmen. They trapped the Vikings outside Seville's walls. The Norsemen, used to fighting disorganized peasants, now faced a disciplined Islamic force. The battle was brutal. The Vikings fought in a shield wall, their bearded faces snarling as arrows rained down. The Muslim horsemen wheeled around them, striking and retreating, while Sudanese infantry, tall men with curved blades, hacked at their flanks. Finally, the Northmen broke. Hundreds were slaughtered as they fled to their ships. The survivors limped back to the coast, where they bargained for their lives. Gold for safe passage. Abd al-Rahman, wary of further attacks, agreed, and the Vikings left, but not before vowing revenge. Chapter 3. The Merchant and the Heathen. Years later, in 922 AD, far to the east, an Arab traveler named Ahmad ibn Fadlan stood on the banks of the Volga River, watching a scene that chilled his soul. A group of Rus Vikings had buried one of their chieftains. They placed him in a ship, surrounded by treasures, food, and even a sacrificed slave girl. Then they set it ablaze. Ibn Fadlan, a diplomat from the Wibishawas Abbasid Caliphate, had been sent to the land of the Hasko Volga Bulgars to teach them Islam. Instead, he found himself documenting the customs of these pagan giants. Men who washed only once a day, which he found filthy, yet whose strength and fairness in trade impressed him. "They are the filthiest of Allah's creatures," he wrote, "yet they trade with honor." The Vikings, for their part, cared little for his prayers. They wanted more silver. Caravans of Muslim merchants arrived with chests of dirhams, buying furs, amber, and Slavic slaves captured in Viking raids. The Norsemen weighed the coins, biting them to test their purity, then melted them down into arm rings and necklaces. But not all encounters were peaceful. Chapter 4. The Caspian Nightmare. In 913 AD, a Viking fleet of 500 ships entered the Caspian Sea, slipping past the Khazars like shadows. They fell upon the Muslim towns of Azerbaijan, burning, killing, and taking thousands captive. The local ruler, Marzuban ibn Muhammad, rallied his forces. He knew the Vikings were fearless in open battle, So he set a trap. Luring them into a narrow river, his men ambushed them with Greek fire and volleys of arrows. The long ships, unable to maneuver, became funeral pyres. Those Vikings who survived were hunted down or sold into slavery. Some, however, chose a different fate: conversion to Islam. A few Norsemen, dazzled by the wealth and sophistication of the Muslim world, abandoned their gods and swore allegiance to the Caliph. They became bodyguards, traders, even explorers. But most Vikings never forgot their roots. As one old warrior told Ibn Fadlan, "We fight, we trade, we die. That is the way of the North."